Hello! Okay, so today we are going to install GNS3. It's a free software suite for virtualization of networking. So there's a lot of companies that actually provide images that you can import into this software, like Fortinet, Cisco, Aruba, etc. So what I will show you today is how to install and set up so you can have this on your own on your computer to lab with or just get some better understanding of networking. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Alright, so we are at GNS3.com and here we can see that it's actually free, but you have to sign up to the site to download the software. So you will go top right and it says sign up or sign in or something like that, and it would be just ordinary where you fill in your email address and get the confirmation link. It's totally free. This is under the GNU license, so it's it's an open source software, and we can see that the latest version is 2.2.54 and it's quite popular. Big companies are using it, and yeah, it has been downloaded quite a lot of times. So this is the most popular virtualization software. There is also a competitor called EVNG, but this is by far the one I can highly recommend. This one, there's a lot of more resources if things go wrong, and it can. I mean, this is quite tricky to actually get working. But in the end of the video, I will also mention some troubleshooting I did to get my copy to work. Alright, let's go and download this software. So we click free download and we can see that it's available on Windows, Mac and Linux. For this installment I am going to go with Windows. So I will go with download here, and we can see that we have a GNS3 all-in-one, only 100 megabytes, so it didn't take too long. And we can actually open up the file, hit yes, and minimize the browser for now. This is quite straightforward. GNS3 is the GUI part of this installation. It comes with a local server where you can spin up some virtual PCs and switches, etc. But for the full featured version you want also the GNS VM, and that you have to put in hypervisor like VirtualBox or Hyper-V, or what is actually recommended is VMware Workstation Pro or Player. So that is what I'm going to use, and I have a link to a video I have made how to get it for free. It's actually free now. Anyway, let's go next, and here we can actually see that yes, it's for GNU, General Public Use License. It's free. I agree. Shortcut menu GNS3, that is fine. I will press next here, and here we can actually see what it's going to install. And GNS3, this is the GUI, the local installation on your PC, and GNS3 VM is the other part of this installment, but I want to do that separately into my VMware Workstation Pro. So I will just highlight desktop here and press next, and this is the destination folder. That's okay with me. And now it will install all the apps needed. It comes bundled with Wireshark, PCAP, there's a lot of stuff it will install. Trace NG. I will not provide my real email here, but just fill in something here. So it will actually download, for example, Trace NG, WinCap, Wireshark if you don't have it, Solar Putty, you can also see that that's mentioned, and install it silently in the background. But okay, For me, it's now completed. I will press next. And here we get an offer from SolarWinds. But no thank you. I will hit next. And now we will start GNS3. So I will press finish. A website pop up. It says I can get again the deal with a $200 value, but not too interested in that. So I will minimize that again. And here we can see this is the GUI version that I talk about. So this is one part where you can do some lightweight networking on your local computer like this. But we will do the VM part also. So we will actually also download the image to import to your hypervisor. So we are going to exit out of this GUI part and we will go back to the site. And here you can see for optimal performance and also feature set, I would say, make sure to download the GNS3 VM. And this is really the main part of the program. And this is also, this virtual machine will also be where you, for example, can, if we go to appliances, most popular, you can see we have FortiGate, Cisco switches, we even have Windows, MikroTik, pfSense, Aruba, OSCX, so actually some quite new switch software to lab with. So that is why we are going to download the GNS3 VM, so we later on can import that. So I will hit download here, and here I will go with VMware Workstation. This file, this is the recommended virtualization tool, so I highly recommend you go with that if you have the possibility to. And it's now downloading the VM. Make sure it's the same version, 2.2.54, and my GNS3 GUI was 2.2.54, so this should indeed be the real deal, and they should be compatible with each other. So let's go to the download folder. Here I'm going to extract. It's actually zipped up, so I will extract that. Now we have the folder, and here we can see an OVA file. Open virtualization format. Yeah, okay. So this file we are going to import into VMware Workstation. I will open up that software now. And I think we actually can be a bit lazy and just drag and drop it in here. So let's drag it in here. Otherwise you can do file and open. Just make sure to not make a new virtual machine. We're going to open the file. Let's call it GNS3, why not? This is my path. This is just the name, that's okay. I will hit import. It's now importing the file into a VM it's creating in the same time. And there it is. So if you not drag and drop, you go to file and open. We are actually not gonna touch it at all here in the VMware Workstation GUI. I can mention something, and that is about the network. If you are unsure or having trouble assigning IP to this when you start up the GNS3 VM, I would highly recommend to go into your virtual network editor. I can show you real fast, and hit restore defaults. Yeah, that is can be necessary if you have fiddled around too much with your virtual network. So I can recommend doing a restore to defaults. One good thing is, as I mentioned before, that we are not going to touch the VM here in VMware Workstation. We're not even going to power it on here. That is all done via the GNS3 GUI. So I will have this icon here. You can see the GNS3. So instead we are going to start that up. It says please create project, but it actually also starting a local server and the VM in the background. So we are going to wait for that. Here we can see new project. Sure, we can have test 1, 2, 3 to begin with. Hit OK. Here we have the local server running, and here we also now want to add the VM that we just spun up. So how do we do that? We go to Edit, Preferences, and here are a lot of stuff you can change, but don't worry, you're not going to change that much. We are only going to go to GNS3 VM, and here we are going to enable the GNS3 VM. So this is referring to the one we just imported. Here you can see virtualization engine. VMware Workstation Player is actually the recommended one, but it works with other virtualization tools also. Here it snaps up our VMs that are actually listed in our VMware Workstation. So I'm going to go with GNS3. The port, I'm pretty sure this is not correct. This is going to be 3080. And we can go with 2 CPUs and maybe, yeah, let's go with 4 gigabytes of RAM. Why not? And when we close GNS3, yeah, you can also stop the VM. Yeah, that's fine. Now, when we hit OK, we are going to, you can actually see if I swap over here to VMware Workstation Pro. There it is. That is it starting. So those actions inside the GUI version actually started the VM, so it's sending some signals to VMware Workstation. So I have still not touched this VM inside of here. One thing that is good to check is that it says KVM support available true, and that is for your nested virtualization, so that you can do VMs inside of VMs basically. More of that in the latest part of this video. I will have some troubleshooting if you are having a hard time getting this to work. But if you just take a look at this screen, you should have an IP address, and we have. It actually is still gray here. Maybe I was wrong about the port. It actually says port 80, so let's change that back maybe. And if we do it like that, I think it will restart it also, right? Maybe the 3080 is just a web GUI port. So when changing those options, the VM actually restarts. It's up again. Let's see if it actually turns green. It does. There we have it. So what we can do now is go to the marketplace and import switches, firewalls from Fortinet, etc. That will be another video though. I will show you how to make a small home lab now that we have this working. So just the basics are, you will browse devices, and here we can see virtual PCs. We can drag in PC, and here you choose where you want this PC to land. So I highly recommend actually putting it on the VM that we did. So here is one PC. Yeah, let's do maybe 3 PCs. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 like that. And we can have a switch also and put it on the VM. So here we can see now we have 3 PCs and a switch. Okay, how do we connect this? On the left side you can see we have add link. So we will just press from the different devices, and again from 1 to 0, from 2 to 0. So now the switch is connected to 3 PCs, and this is not a managed switch, unfortunately. If we on the right side right click and do configure on the switch, you can see if we for example swap to telnet, but we can see here with that it's on VLAN 1 and it's just a typical access switch, and you can see that telnet access for switches is not available in this version, so you won't be able to configure that switch much. If we press the play button now, we will turn on all the PCs. So the virtual PCs are now actually online. And let's go into the console of PC. So for example, if we right click and press console, we will open up Solar Putty on PC1. And here we can, for example, do a question mark to see some commands. We can do an show ARP. That's maybe interesting to see if it snapped up any MAC addresses. ARP table was empty, okay. But we can maybe set the IP address. So if we type IP and we can do, yeah, we can do maybe 10.0.0.123. And then we have to add the subnet mask in this CIDR format. So that is PC1. Let's go with maybe PC2. We can console to that. And here we can do IP 10.0.0.124 255.255.255.0. And now let's see if we can ping the other PC. And we can. So that is some very basic virtual networking. Don't forget to press save on the PCs if you want to actually save the configuration on them. And we can save. So next time we open up the project, they will actually have their IP addresses set up. Okay guys, that was it for installing both the GUI and the VM version of GNS3. I will now explain some troubleshooting I had to do to get this to actually work. So the very first thing you have to check is that virtualization is enabled in your BIOS. They can call it a bit different depending on the manufacturer of your motherboard, UEFI BIOS, but VTX usually for Intel and AMD-V for AMD. After that, you typically want to disable all services running for Hyper-V. So if we check on the services here and hypervisor, for example, this host HV host servers I put to disabled and made sure Hyper-V is not actually running. One other thing to check is if Hyper-V or Windows Hypervisor platform is installed in the feature sets. So you go to Start menu and Windows Features, and here check for Hyper-V and Windows Hypervisor platform. I had to untick my Windows Hypervisor platform and press OK, and usually some of these settings require a reboot. What you also need to change is to disable the hypervisor launch type. So you will go to your PowerShell admin and you will type it like this: bcd edit set hypervisor launch type to off. I can show you how it does it. It just says operational complete successfully. One other thing to check for is the core isolation in your Windows security. So if we type core isolation, this can also really mess up the virtualization of your GNS3. So turn all the settings off here, or if you are having trouble, that is. So especially the memory integrity. And that usually fixes it. But yeah, Windows, of course, they find different ways to mess with you. And last but not least, to get it to work, at least for me, I actually had to disable the Windows Hello. So yeah, believe it or not, after I disabled the Windows Hello, my GNS3 didn't have any problem to do nested virtualization. And to do that, you go into your registry editor. You can see it, computer, local machine, system, corner control set, device guard, scenarios, Windows Hello. So I put this to 0. Very, very important if you do this and you are using Windows Hello to log in to your PC. Don't get yourself locked out, because, for example, if you're only having a PIN code, it's usually using Windows Hello to log in. In that case, make sure you go to settings, accounts, your info, and that you are signing in with a local account. And yeah, I highly recommend it anyway, instead of messing about with Microsoft Cloud accounts to actually access your PC. Basic local account is much less hassle. The last thing I actually had to change was the device guard, and here we can see enable virtualization-based security. Set this to 0, and to actually see if it's working, you go to MS Info 32, you hit enter and scroll down a bit on the summary, and what you want to see is virtualization-based security not enabled. So I did all these things in basically the order that I just told you, but it was actually the Windows Hello setting that to 0 in the registry that eventually set this to not enabled, and then GNS3 worked flawlessly. Okay guys, that's both installing and some troubleshooting. I really hope you get this to work, because it's gonna be a lot of fun, at least for me, to now install some FortiGate firewalls and Aruba switches. I wish you the best of luck, and if this was helpful, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe for more labs. Bye bye.